Welcome, everyone, to Talented Universe today. We are so excited. We have another guest from season 25 of The Voice, Ryan Argast. That's
Hello,
correct?
hello.
Did I
That's
pronounce
right. You said it correctly.
That's
Nice.
great. And like normal, I have my co-host Vernon Barnard from South Africa.
Good to be with you,
Vernon,
everyone.
how you doing?
Good as always, Mike. I mean, we're really excited to just have a chat with Ryan, and looking forward to everyone's questions as well, too, Ryan. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, before we get started, what got you to try out for The Voice?
You know, I did American Idol a few years ago, and I was kind of like, you know what, I did it. It was cool. But the thing that happened was that even though that I got like top 50, they never showed me. Like besides like getting like a yawn. Like I literally yawned on TV. And that was the only thing that they got of me. And so it was one of those things where it's like I got really far. I had like standing ovations from all the judges, and it was super awesome. But I never had a chance to really show that. And when like the voice kind of happened again, and they were looking for people, there were a few people in my ear. They're like, "Hey, you should go try it out." And I was like, another singing show. Really, do I need to go do that? Whatever. And it was a completely different experience, a really amazing experience. And I'm really glad I did it because I mean, look where it's at now.
Yeah, you're here. Yeah,
I'm here.
Well, that's very odd that they didn't show you when you progressed that far. I mean, I know it's not worth dwelling on, but it's
Yeah.
I just to myself now that's kind of weird.
You know, it's all about different kind of stories, right? That anyone wants to tell too. Like again, it was one of those things where hundreds of thousands of people try out, and you get down to the top 50, and I'm thinking we're having all the little watch parties, everyone's watching, and then nothing happens. And I felt like I had to do the voice for like a redemption. Like I was like, I got to go back out there, and I got to get some TV time, and I'm really thankful that they gave it to me.
I think you're well on your way, man. No, you've got a very cool voice, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I love it. It's unique, but also resembling some icons. I mean, my first impression, and it's not just straight copy and paste, but I thought Chris Stapleton. You know, I heard something about
Thank you.
that, which is a huge compliment if someone told.
I absolutely love Chris Stapleton. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
So just a great and that rasp that came through. I mean, you started like with just the smooth vibes, just mellowing everyone into it, making them feel comfortable, and then unleashed the rasp and the power.
Thank you. You know, it's funny you say that because I was playing another gig with one of the wedding bands that I play with, and they typically have me doing rock songs all the time. So I'm typically at that like rasp level. I typically don't do that smooth going into it. So it was funny because like one of the keyboard players was like, "Dude, I didn't know that you did like R&B kind of music. That was awesome." And I was like,
oh wow.
It was actually funny the opposite, where like I walk on the stage and everyone's like, "Oh, he kind of has this kind of voice," and then I'm like, "Surprise, here's the rasp." Where people at home were like, "Oh my god, I didn't know that you didn't have the rasp. I didn't know you could turn that on and off." So that was really cool.
Yeah, awesome, man. So the R&B part was actually the surprise, even though it came at first.
For the people at home. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
Cool, man. Yeah, no, there's a lot happening in your life, eh?
I would say so. This has been an insane week. Absolutely.
Yeah, enlighten us a bit just about the good news.
Yes. So just 2 days ago, my wife gave birth to our first child, Jasmine Lynn Argast, aka Baby Jazz. Thank you. We are absolutely thrilled. She came a couple weeks early, so she surprised us, but she's healthy. Everything's great. It's so funny. I was talking to the OBGYN a couple weeks ago, and I said to her, "Are births like the movies still? Like, are people going to be just randomly out grocery shopping and the water breaks and you sprint there and everything?" She's like, "Oh no, not actually, not anymore. The way that we do things now, we most people just get induced and everything else." I was like, "Oh, okay." And it was 6:40 in the morning. I had just came back from a late night gig. That Sunday was supposed to be my like sleep-in day.
Yeah.
And my wife gets up to go use the bathroom, and I know she goes to use the bathroom. I kind of help her get up. She goes there, and all of a sudden I hear, "Ryan," and I was like, "Oh no!" And I jump out of bed. She's like, My water broke. I was like, oh my God. I had a reminder on my phone that literally said, pack hospital bag. And I'm thinking, I'm 2 weeks ahead. This is going to be awesome. Get the hospital bag. No. So I'm sprinting around the house. In fact, you guys can't see it right now, but like everything below here is a total mess because I have everything because we just got back from the hospital late yesterday. So, and then I had another gig I had to do, and ain't no rest for the wicked, So so I got a whole pile of clothes and everything over here. But basically, I grabbed whatever I could, and we sprinted right to the hospital. And she was like, slow down driving. And I was like, we have to get there. If the cops are going to pull us over, they're going to be our escorts. And she goes, no, I need you to slow down. Be careful. And I go, okay. And within a second, she gets like a contraction. She's like, pedal to the metal. Let's go. And so we sprinted right to it. So it was fun.
Can you already feel just like how fatherhood, even in 2 days, have changed your life? Because we always hear people say, no, it's just like, it just switches something.
Yes.
For parents.
To be frank with you, there is actually a more level of like it feels like the fatherhood like bone activates, like something in me just was like, okay, now you're a dad. This is what you do. Like it wasn't like I was like, oh my God, changing diapers. Like I literally jumped out of bed and just changed a diaper. Now my first diaper that I changed was definitely backwards, but I did it without like throwing up or anything like that. And like, all that to say though, like it's been this level of like a lot more comfort than I expected. And I know that anyone who's going to be a dad freaks out about what it's going to be like, but now it's like, this is what I am. This is what I do. And in 2 days, even though I slept for an hour and a half last night, I'm just surprised I'm awake. I'm chipper and everything. And I guess it's just that fatherhood mentality right out of the gates.
Adrenaline getting you through. No, that's amazing, man. It's a beautiful blessing, and I can only think it's just gonna add so much to your life. Both you and your wife, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, let me go to question. First, Arc 54. She said, "Good morning, afternoon," and then she had something she wanted to say to you. I must tell you, I absolutely fell in love with your voice on The Voice, but it went to a higher appreciation when I heard Marina City and the stripped down version of Better Weather.
Oh my goodness.
And she says, congrats to baby.
Thank you so much, ARK 54. I really, really appreciate that. That means a lot. One of the big things that wanted to do The Voice was to get as much recognition as possible as a songwriter, as a band leader, as a front man and stuff like that with Marina City. And it's just really cool that people such as ARK was like, hey, I got to go check out more, and I got to go check out that band. We need more people like you in this world. Because oftentimes what happens is everyone wants something super easy. So they're like, oh, I saw him on The Voice. That's super awesome and great. And that's it. But the fact that ARK went out and learned more is really, really cool.
She does. She has loved all the people that we've had from The Voice this season.
That's awesome.
She texts me after we do a show, and she goes, oh, I'm so glad you got them. I mean, she loves coming in the chat room. She's in California.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
In California.
That's awesome.
And so that's pretty cool. Now we do have, I think Vernon's going to freak. We do have some likes and loves, and I cannot pronounce these names. So in my thinking, they are coming from South Africa. So we have some viewers in South Africa that are watching us. I am going to attempt.
Mike, you can do it. Let's go.
I'm going to do it. Hardress Steenkamp.
I think he'll accept that. That's close enough.
That's close enough. Okay. Delaney Ostrohusen.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
I think they will recognize their names.
That's good. I'm glad. Okay. Nicolette Dubras-Kroos.
Yeah.
And she was on with our show the other day. Rihanna Vanderschiff. That's awful.
You're doing well, Mike. You're doing well.
I'm trying. I'm just excited that we're having some people from Vernon's neck of the woods to come on and get to know you and get to know your music, Ryan. I mean, that's great.
I mean, you deserve that, brother. You deserve people from all over the world to recognize your talent. And guys, make sure to, if you haven't yet, check out his audition on YouTube afterwards. It's like I said at the start, it's a beautiful, raspy, warm voice that just makes you feel good, and that's what music is all about. So one of these days you're touring to South Africa, and then we'll hook up, and I'll tag along for one of your shows, man.
That sounds awesome. It's actually really funny that this is something's going on in the world with South Africa and Marina City, because even before The Voice happened, there were some people found us from South Africa and showed a video of one of their kids. He may have been like 12 or something like that, watching the TV, and our song Tanzanite by Marina City was playing, and he's just singing to it and he's just rocking out. And I'm like that's where the eyes get all watery, because I'm just like, we literally do music to connect with people. And the fact that we're able to connect with someone of that age, so many thousands of miles in a completely different continent away, to areas I've never been at. It's just, that's why we do music. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's
so maybe South Africa is going to be the next country we have to get out there, Ben.
It might just be. It's going to be justified, by the support. So no, I mean, everyone will just be so honored to have you guys over. So yeah, man, maybe, who knows, just a few months away, who knows.
Yeah
But yeah, no, so those people are definitely going to check you out as well. I'm glad that you guys are tuning in. Great to have. Yeah.
Now let me ask this. I think we got a lot of people in the chat room, but they are being quiet. I understand that. But what did you think after you did your blinds? Dan and Shay turned around, and then they came up on stage with you. What were you feeling?
I'm just so happy that they shared and showed this on TV, because my entire time on that stage, from the minute I walked up to the minute it ended, just feels so blurry and wild.
For real.
Exactly. I got in the car and I called my dad, and I even left out the part that I sang with them at first. I first was like, yeah, I got on, blah, blah. And then I was like, and then my wife was like, tell him about how you sang with them. I was like, what? I did what? Yeah, I was like, oh yeah. And then I sang.
You were just in a, oh my. Well, I can understand that.
It was just like, I even think in there that I even shout maybe off the mic or whatever, where I'm like, is this real life? Like, it was just such a, how did this get right here? How did this just happen? And the fact that, Dan and Shit, they're extremely nice people. And the fact that they came up and were just like, yeah, let's just do this real quick. And, I'm sure there's like nerves on their end too, that this is the first time they're doing The Voice, and like, okay, I'm just going to jump up there and I don't know how this guy's going to sing this song with me right now. Cause we ended up singing a half step higher. And then I wasn't sure if he was going to take the leads or harms. We just did it. And it just was,
I was wondering that, because it's like, did you signal each other to tell you what you were going to do? Because I was going like,
he did give me a nod. Like he started it off, and then I like just watching. And to be honest with you, I wasn't even going to sing with them. I was just going to like, this is so cool that I'm here. I'm standing here. Like, and then he went like, he did a little nod that I was like, oh, you want me to do this too? Like, I'm part of this. This is Dan, Shay, and Ryan. So that was really awesome.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, just being there and being on The Voice is already a memory for life. But now it's like doubled up, because not a lot of people get to do something with one of the coaches. That's like, you get it every once in a while, and it's right. I mean, that's like a double memory for life. I mean, it must be amazing.
During the blinds. I mean,
yeah, right. No matter what happens at this point, that's what I kept thinking, was like, look, like I won. Like, this is an opportunity that I can hold on to forever, and no one can take away from. So it was absolutely a beautiful moment.
Yeah, you're going to cherish that forever.
Yeah. Anytime anyone speaks bad of me, I'm just going to show them that video. Oh, yeah?
Here.
Watch this.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Go ahead, Vernon.
No. Just transitioning into speaking bad. I think it's maybe a good time to. I read in your bio something about growing up, obviously, with pursuing music from quite early on, and that being the consequence of bullying. Did I understand that right?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's necessarily just me
Mm.
as an individual that,
No,
everyone gets bullied, but I think
Mhm.
that it's really easy to get bullied when you're
Yeah.
so passionate about
Yeah.
something and you
Mhm.
pursue it, especially at such a young age. And,
Yeah.
my parents, I wasn't on my Christmas list or on my birthday list or like anything like that. I never was asking for like video games or like this or that. I was asking for like something that I found that was music related to get better at it. You know what I mean? And so and that was something that I always cared about. I was dancing and singing as early as
Yeah.
I can walk and talk. Now everyone kind of starts a band in middle school or elementary school, high school. They all, kind of do it. But like at that point, I had already been singing and doing that for a long time. And I was really serious about it. Like, when I hang out with friends, we're practicing, we're doing that. So I think with that, there comes a little bit of jealousy. There comes a little bit of like, this guy's out there and he's like, he's so, uh, you know, he's
Yeah.
so loud and he's obnoxious and he's dancing, he's singing. It's like, screw that guy or that guy stinks or whatever the case is. And so when I was younger, yeah, it was definitely difficult. And I think sometimes it was really difficult when you find out like
Yeah.
friends of yours are actually like joining in on the fun of making fun of you and those things. And there was like a lot of things that they made like bands about me, and they made like posters and flyers around school. One dude actually dressed up like me during Halloween, which, to be frank with you, is actually kind of cool. Because that's kind of what I always wanted it to be, like noticeable that you can dress like me. But anyways, all that, it is hard for a young kid. And I think that, sharing that a little bit on the voice or on the bio to explain to anyone who's pursuing music that it's like, look, like people are going to make fun of you for doing this. People always have something to say. And to be frank with you, people can only drag you down if they're below you, right? So don't worry about no one respectful and have a lot of credibility is online talking bad about people and making bad comments. No one. Anyone who is actually doing it and you're inspired by, they don't have time or care. Like, this is what they do. So anyone that's making those bad comments or whatever the case is, just brush them off. It means nothing. Lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep, right? Is that the sign?
True. Amen. But I mean, that's something that I just thought about while you were saying that, is like, it's the weirdest thing. Just growing up, kids will find a way of. There's no good reason to bully someone, but they'll find something that you don't think is something that is frowned upon or that is made fun of, and they'll even take that, like being really talented in something, or like kids just at some stage, they will even, like, if you have really nice blue eyes, for instance, if they wanted to, it will be considered when you grow up, something very valuable or something that people are appreciative of, but they'll find a way to make fun of that. So I think that's also something that maybe we can also just keep in mind, is like, you had the chops and pursued your thing, and it's not always a reflection of what you're about, whatever people's reaction is, right?
Right. No, that's a great point. That's really, look at that guy. Look how good he's dancing and singing. I mean, he's terrible. Like, it's just like, it's all, no matter what, it's always something like that. And that's a great point. So anyone who's listening, we all get bullied for something dumb.
Let's go to a couple of the questions in the chat room right now. Hardest says, thanks for the live, guys. That's to Vernon and I. You definitely get to know the heart of an artist through your platform. We really do. And then they say, Ryan, you are such a humble and great dude. Keep going. Strong, bro.
I really appreciate it, Hardest. Thank you so much.
And then from Debar MJ. Hey, Ryan, just want to let you know that Plainfield, Illinois is so proud of you. Congratulations on The Voice and daddyhood.
Thank you so much, Debar. I'm really, really happy that we get to represent Plainfield. Plainfield is just about 45 minutes outside of Chicago. And it's literally what it sounds like. It's just cornfields. I mean, it has grown a lot in the last so many decades or whatever the case is, but it's just cool that there's not a lot of people that get an opportunity to do something like this that's representing Plainfield. So I'm just really happy that I get that opportunity for it.
Representing
the corn.
And then Arc 54 says, was my next question. She does that to me all the time. Who are your musical inspirations or genres?
Yeah.
Who influenced your music, basically? Yeah.
I am literally a melting pot of a ton of influences, and some of them you'll be like, really? How are you? I had no idea. And then it's going to be like, oh, that makes sense. I grew up listening to all types of music, like everything. So I will tell you that I love, a huge fan of Michael Jackson and Prince, and then also Joe Cocker and CCR, and then also Freddie Mercury and Bon Jovi growing up. And then there was Justin Timberlake for the longest time. And then it was now, if you're talking to me right now, I love Noah Kahan, and I love Dermot Kennedy, and I love the 1975 and Fall Out Boy for different reasons. Lyrical inspirations, vocal tone inspirations, the way that they, inflect. There's this singer, his name is Jason Lancaster. He was from a band called Mayday Parade and Go Radio, a lot smaller than all the artists that I said earlier, but it's someone that I always look towards, just the way that he pronounced things and the way that it was so emotional. For me, anytime a singer, and I even brought this up in my interview about Dan and Shay, or about about my audition and why I chose the Dan and Shay song, was that like they're such great storytellers, and I love artists who you can feel what they're singing and you understand their pain and you go with them through their happiness and everything else in between. And I just think that today I could be influenced by a completely new artist, and I'm going to dive right into it.
Yeah. All great names that you named there, man. That was didn't miss anyone. That's like awesome influences, and I can hear what you're saying. Like, it's like you are your own artist, and you're not just trying to be one artist, but obviously we take parts of what we appreciate and do our own. So no, that's definitely very obvious and apparent. So yeah, man, no, that's awesome. Like, just your interpretation and what you've gathered from those influences.
Thank you so much.
Are you, how do I put this? Are you ready for the battles?
I am excited for the battles. I am, it's one of those things where like I haven't come down from the high of the audition.
I bet.
But you know what, come what may, I think there's this level of like confidence too, where you have like this badge of honor that not only are you on the team in Dan and Shay, but you're on The Voice and you like got through it. So it's just one of those things where going into the battles is this just is a lot more of a, like, with the audition, of course there's always nerves, but with the audition, there's this like, am I actually good enough? And like, should I be here? Is there like some, how did I get here? Where now the battles are like, no, I belong here. I just had this incredible moment. This is my time to shine. Let's go. Let's do it.
Awesome. And that's good. I mean, I just can't imagine all the emotions that go through and all the time it takes to prepare. I mean,
I will say that The Voice does a really fantastic job on doing everything they can to help you through that as much as possible. Seriously, like really kudos to them about how much they take in preparation to make sure that you are prepared.
Yeah, and I think that's great. I think that's great that they do that. And I mean, it shows. It shows. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy working with The Voice, getting, guests like you from The Voice on. I mean, kudos to them too. It is so great. Let's see, what was it? The other thing I needed to know, want to talk more about the band that you're in, that the Arc 54 was talking about.
Yeah.
How long have you been with them?
Yeah, so the band has been around. The name of the band has been around for this will be the 12th year, and been around for a long time. Now, the reason why I said the name of the band is because it's had different iterations of the band, different lineups and stuff like that. The drummer and I have been consistent all the way out, and we started this band together with the previous members back in. Well, technically we started in 2011, but announced it in 2012. And Toter, He's Bulgarian. He's from Bulgaria, actually. International band here, everybody. With South Africa and everything. He joined the band in 2014, 15 in that time. And we've been rock and rolling. And it's such a cool thing that I get to say that I literally have grown up in this band. I was I was 18 when we started the band. Yeah. I was touring at 19 with the band, doing all these things, and now I'm 31 years old, and I'm a father, I'm a house owner, all this stuff. And these guys, they stood in my wedding, and the drummer got married as well, and the opportunity to be able to grow up together and do music together is such a blessing.
Yeah, how valuable is it being on the road with, not just people that you are in a professional setting with when you guys rock it out, but also you guys get along and you're like that comfort for each other when it's a bit long on the road or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it is. When we were looking for band members, something like I've been in bands prior to Marina City. I started my first band in like 5th grade. So like, again, I've always been really serious about it. But when I was looking for band members, there are 3 things, and literally in this order of what I was looking for. The first thing was, can they be our best friend? Can we be close? Because there's just no way. I just don't think that you need to have some internal connection to be able to really make music. So there's that. Then second, are they going to be dedicated? Like, how dedicated are they going to go with this? And then last, I mean, and honestly, it is the least, but how talented are they? And the reason why that is because it doesn't matter how talented they are if you can't connect with them as friends and they're not going to be dedicated, right? Exactly. And it's actually really funny that Toter and Eric, Toter the guitar player and Eric the drummer, both guys are the only dudes that auditioned to like be in the band. And then everyone else that was in the band originally, they were just friends. They're like, hey, do you want to start a band? Let's do this. And then we had to audition like a drummer and eventually a guitar player. And I think that what's so interesting about that is that regardless if they were in Marina City or not, they were going to be musicians. That's what they do. That's, and so we already knew that dedication was there. And it's just really cool that we're able to go through hell and back over and over and over again together and just come out stronger each time.
Awesome.
Okay, we have a question, a statement from Chris Brody. Congratulations. We are cheering for you in Chicago.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And then Arc 54, is it true you wrote Oh Chicago as a high school English project? That shows how talented you are with.
Yes. So we released a single called Oh Chicago Stripped, and it's off of our new upcoming acoustic EP entitled Stay. 4 of the 5 songs are already released right now. We just released the latest single, Roses, on Spotify and everywhere just this past week. It's been a really busy week. As you can tell.
We have had a busy week.
Yeah. But in regards to Oh Chicago, yes. So the teacher had us write poems. It was like it was a sophomore project that we had to write poems for. I wrote that as a poem. Now I did edit it a little bit when we started using it as a band to like make sure that the melodies and everything fit. But generally that is what I did as a sophomore in high school. And then we released that as one of the first songs off of our first EP in 2012. We kind of like shelved that song for many years and released it again just because it just feels like a lot of fans have always asked for it back, and the opportunity to do it again was really cool. And the fact that ARK it likes it even now, and how young I was in doing that is really cool, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, she knows her stuff, eh?
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's
she really does.
That is awesome.
She's into a lot of things, and it's really cool. Let's see. Let's go and we got a lot of more people gave some likes.
Yay! Thank you.
Worcestershire Happening. Colin Jaworski, Karen Joost Kershoff, and Happening Media.
Okay.
I know Happening Media. And we just got a like from Aisha Kerr. She's one of our co-hosts out of the UK. We have co-hosts from everywhere on our network. It's really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And do you, okay, of your new songs
Yeah.
that came out on your last, let's say your last EP or last whatever,
Mm.
do you have a favorite?
So if we're going to be talking about this upcoming acoustic EP,
Yeah, let's talk about that one. Okay.
I would say that my favorite, it feels weird because all the 4 songs that have been released already are all old songs that we reimagined
Okay.
into a stripped down acoustic version. And I'm really proud. Not only am I proud of, we actually physically recorded them ourselves. And it was the first time we recorded a whole project front to back ourselves and produced it ourselves.
Nice.
So we're so excited that we had the opportunity to do that. So that, too, the fact that these songs resonate with so many people that they demand for us to do something like this and have the opportunity to do that is really exciting. But all in all, my favorite song on there is going to be the next song that we're going to release, and it's called Stay. And just to give you a little bit of background on it, it's a perfect song for me right now in my life. And I guess that's the reason why we kind of wrote it. But I was writing it in another time where I thought was really transitional, was that I was leaving the first house that my wife and I bought together. And, I didn't really think it was going to hit me, but the minute that, like, wow, we bought that together, now we're selling it and buying a new house, really hit me. And then my job that I had for 7 years, unfortunately, like, closed its doors very, very extremely suddenly and laid me off and everyone else around the company. And it was like a salary gig and everything, which made me turn into a full-time musician now, which is always a blessing in disguise, right? But saying goodbye to that was really sad. And then as we get older as band members, I become a father, and some of us become married, and we just grow as a band, and we see all of our lives completely. We've grown together. This song "Stay" is about knowing that you have to leave. It's what you have to do, even though it's not something that you want to do or you're sad to do it. But you really hope that whatever you're leaving behind is always going to be in a positive light. It's always going to be something that is going to be great for you. You don't have to think of it. Sometimes people go, I'm better now than I was before, because they have to build this wall to show that I'm always improving. And it's not necessarily that that's the case, right? So with that being said, this song, even though that I'm so happy where I'm at in life right now, it is still sad, and it's like a ode to a farewell of the old me. And I'm really excited for the people to hear that coming up really soon.
That's like a really good point of view. Like, life is not linear, and I think we sometimes think it is. It's just this big thing is going to happen, and it's just going to be straight up from there all the way. But there's a lot of
success is not linear at all. In fact, we wouldn't know what success was if you didn't have a downfall, right? If you were always going up, how do you know you're being successful? Like, you can only accomplish something if it came from a setback or a downfall. And so, and you're absolutely right. Just because when the voice happened, the day the voice happened, I was looking on my Facebook and it said on this day. And I looked at on this day, and it was fascinating because 2 years prior to it, 13 years on that same day, 13 years ago, my band were going on the first tour ever to South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. It's a massive festival, and we're so excited. And we get there and we find out a guy ends up just conning us, steals $1,400 from us. There were no shows. We were just stranded in Austin, Texas. And then, another year later, I'm telling people, hey guys, can you guys like us on Facebook? And then our Facebook gets hacked. And then it's like, then after that, I'm going to be on American. We're going to release this EP called The Crush, and we are announcing our massive House of Blues headliner. And then the pandemic hit, and we couldn't do it. And then we go, I'm going to be on American Idol. Everyone watch. And then American Idol never shows me but a yawn. And then all those things to lead up to 13 years. And then I get on The Voice, and they show me, and I'm singing with Dan and Shay and NBC and American songwriters talking about me and all these different kind of things. I'm on this podcast, and it's like I could have quit. And all those moments where you think you're going to make it there, but I go, no, I got to keep pushing it, and you never know where it's going to get you. You shoot for the stars and you land in the clouds, right? So I've been very fortunate on that.
Dude, that is very inspirational for me personally, and I think everyone needs to hear that part of the story, like
Yeah.
that's a beautiful, honest, just take on life in general. Not everyone does the same thing and is on the same path necessarily, but just you telling people like,
Yeah.
and this is how it looks. It's not just a overnight thing. There's a lot of no's, but just keeping on, pursuing your dreams, keep holding faith, and when it's sometimes hard, just push forward through those moments. I mean, that is, I think that's more powerful than just telling someone, okay, ABC, that's how I got there, and now you should do it too. That sometimes
Yeah.
it feels like people say that, but it's not
I was
necessarily that.
I was telling some of the voice contestants that we're all really good friends, and I was telling them like, look, this may not be your big break, The Voice, and in fact, you may never have a big break because, to be frank with you, people really don't have big breaks. What we end up having are little breaks. There's not a break that takes you from point A to point Z. It's the point. This break takes you to point B. This break takes you to point C, and maybe this voice gets me to point L, and now I'm at point L, and now I got to go, and so if you keep thinking of success like that, and that's how it's a journey, not a destination, then you're going to be a lot happier. And it's easier said than done. Believe me, I got a song literally called The Man Who Has Everything that's literally talking about just feeling like a failure at times. And while I'm telling you guys, like, look at me, I'm great. And I guess it's like as an artist and anyone, there's always duality, right?
Absolutely. No, I mean, I can definitely hear the motivational speaker in you as well. And, I want to ask you what got you into it. I have a good idea because I think I know people who know pain also know why they also want others to get through that. But just tell us, like, what was your purpose in motivational speaking as well? And
motivational speaking kind of just like randomly happened. It was one of those things where like an old teacher was like, hey, would you come and speak to my class? And I go, okay, cool, that sounds great. And I go, what do you want me to speak about? And she's like, I don't know, whatever you want to talk about. And I was like, what? And so I just was like talking, and she's like, wow, that was really great. Can I get another teacher to bring you? And I was like, and it just was one of those things where all I'm talking about and what I'm saying are things that I try to tell myself in the mirror all the time, right? Like just like, and I just think that kids need to hear that, especially at a young age. And so the ability to be able to be influential and a positive light to anyone of any age is really cool. And I know how difficult this is in music or just following your passion. It is not easy. It is not easy. And I think what's funny is that I often tell people that there was one time someone told me that maybe I should go to become a doctor. And I was like, a doctor? Why would I want to be a doctor? Literally, if all my life from 1 to 18 years old, I've always loved music. I'm doing music, blah, blah. I'm pursuing it. And now I'm going to go to college and I have to compete with someone who their dream is actually becoming a doctor. And so who do you think is going to win all the jobs? Like me, who's like, well, I'm just here because I'm supposed to be here because this makes a bunch of money, or the people who actually have a dream with it. So you can fail at what you don't like. So you might as well try what you love.
Dude, no, that's awesome, man. I think I'm taking so much just chunks out of what you're saying. I mean, and something that sticks out for me is little breaks. I'm going to try and remember that. And probably someone else got something else out of, all of the wisdom that you're sharing. But I mean, it is so true. Like little breaks is it doesn't have to be this big thing, for everyone. It's just pursuing your thing and hustling hard and enjoying the journey as well on the way there. So
thank you.
No, that's like great.
Thank you.
Awesome advice.
Comment from Thomas Hibner. Sorry. Keep dreaming, Brian.
Hey, that's awesome, man. That's Thomas Hibner. He's a songwriter from Plainfield or in the Plainfield area as well.
Oh, okay.
Miley Cyrus actually co-signed him on a song many years ago. So shout out to Thomas Hibner.
Cool.
Shout out.
Aisha says, this may seem a weird question, but do you ever take inspiration from another song?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, all the time. So like they say that good artists get inspired by their inspirations, and then great artists steal from them, kind of thing. I don't like to say that I'm stealing anything, but I will say 100%. If there's a song that I really love, I'm like, I want to write something like that, and I'll like study it. I like there is something that kind of stinks about being a musician sometimes, where like I feel like I can't just listen to an artist and just generally just like, oh cool, like I'm like studying it. When I go see a live show, I used to be the guy in the mosh pits and everything else, and now I want to sit exactly where the sound booth is at, and I just sit there. And you're probably thinking, wow, this guy's having the most boring time in the world, but I'm like watching everything, how the drummer's snare sounds and how the guitar player decided to tune in that moment instead, and how the front person is doing the watching the crowd. So that's the same thing with when songwriting. Like I study everything about that song. In fact, when I was learning Speechless, I had this app. If you guys are singers, a fantastic app. It's called the Amazing Slowdowner. And you literally put the song in the app and you slow it down. And I was able to learn the exact like riffs that Shay does, which is not super easy, but like doing like all those kind of things. Like I had to like want to learn every single little note that he does. So with that being said, I'm definitely going to use that in some kind of song that we write for Marina City. So don't you worry, you'll hear that.
Imagine.
Thanks, Shay.
Yeah, no, I mean, imagine the pressure of trying to come up with something that's never been done before. I mean, thousands of years of music and commercialized music for many, many decades. I mean, it's, now I have to come up with something that's never been heard before.
I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. In fact, great songwriters and the greatest songs ever, there's something that you hear that reminds you of something. And that's actually what makes a great song, is that there's some kind of familiarity with it that also something new. So like and so everyone does it. There's definitely inspiration for every song.
Exactly.
Yeah, Arc54 said, did it feel different when you released your solo EP Twice on Sundays versus the work with Marina City?
Absolutely. I had a fantastic, wonderful time creating my own solo record and releasing that. In fact, Eric, the drummer in Marina City, actually played drums in the song. Toter, the guitar player in Marina City, performed with me as a solo thing. So even though that it was technically a solo thing, I was really connected with all the guys and everyone in my community. But the reason why I wanted to do that at the time was that I had already finished the Marina City record, and I was just writing songs that were super personal to me that felt weird to hide behind a band name. Now, what I will say is that has opened the opportunity for me to be even more vulnerable in my songwriting. So I expect the next Marina City record to be pretty vulnerable, even though that it will be hiding behind a band. But Eric and Toter, they're my best friends, they're brothers of mine, and we've been doing it for such a long period of time that it's just so much easier to be able to like say my truth and everything. Marina City, oftentimes a lot of our songs were looking at other people's perspectives or telling a story that we saw that was interesting. Our most recent record, The Simulation, is an EP that is probably our most political, most like focused on the society in general. And I wanted to put like a mirror up to society and not necessarily give you an opinion, but just tell you this is exactly what's happening. Is that cool or not? You be the judge of it. And where I feel like the next record, I'm more excited to look inwards and really, I mean, there's so much to talk about now. Like I became a dad since the last record. I did The Voice. I did American Idol since that. I bought a house. I got laid off from my job because it completely like faltered. I became a full-time musician. There's so much that I can talk about that I'm really excited to be able to explore that on the next MC record.
Awesome.
Yeah. Aisha has a follow-up question, I guess, from the one that she did before. Do you ever listen to foreign artists and think, yeah, I like that, and then use it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think some of my favorite artists are mostly English, British, and such like that way. Definitely a lot of influence from a lot of them. So I would 100% say that. But I think that, I'm Hispanic on my mom's side. We're Mexican, which is it's hard to tell when obviously I'm pale skinned and my last name is Argast.
Yes.
But there has been opportunities that Marina City has been able to explore that is a little bit more influential in that heritage. And the same thing, like the drummer of the band, Eric, his stepfather is Mexican, and he's been always really, he was like raised in that culture. So he as well, he actually speaks better Spanish than I do. And then Toter being Bulgarian, almost every guitar solo or riff that he brings has something that may be sounding a little bit more Eastern due to that kind of that upbringing. So absolutely 100% our like our heritage and our cultures, and even different cultures that we may hear that may be really interesting, we will bring it into Marina City. We're like like I said earlier, melting pot of influences. I guess we're a rock band, but I like to use the name. I like to say we're a rock band because a rock band could be literally anything. It's just attitude. It's just what you feel, right? So with that being said, we explore different genres all the time.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is everyone's like 5-minute or less warning. I've got a few statements and questions I want to go through. If you have any questions to Ryan, please post them now so we can get to them. Heartfelt says, "Hey guys, we want to know." This is a toughie. Where, Ryan, are you going to be, or where you would like to be in 10 years, if God permits?
To be frank with you, where I'm at in life right now has already been a dream come true. This is where I want it to be. What I hope in 10 years is that I'm still writing music. My daughter will be 10 years old at the time, and I'm able to be a fantastic father. I'll be an incredible husband as much as I possibly can. We get to live in the same house that we're living in right now, grow as a family while still doing music. Eric and Toter and I are still playing. We're touring. We're doing those things, and we're just moving up bigger and bigger and bigger each time. I mean, I am so fortunate and lucky to be able to be living my dream right now, and I just want to keep it. I want to keep that dream alive as long as I possibly can. So that's where I hope to be in 10 years.
Yeah. Awesome. And greetings from the German girl, Jenny.
Yes.
93.
Yanni.
Hey, Ryan.
She is an absolute rock star. Thank you so much for tuning in, Yanni.
And then Dork says, "Go, Ryan."
Yes. We got the dorks involved. That's when we know we're going to be all right.
Yeah. And here's the other one. Beer Me TV. As someone who's watched your journey from the stages of Sonic Portrait to seeing where you are now, your love for what you do has always been clear.
Wow.
Now, this is going to be a toughie. I would never ask this hard question to somebody. Yes, I would. What's your favorite memory that comes to mind?
Wow. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, whoever Beer TV is right now, we need to hook up afterwards, because to hear that me from Sonic Portrait and everything else, this is one of the first few venues that my old band used to play in back in the day. It's really cool to hear. But with that, and thank you so much for and all the kind words. My favorite memory.
Tough.
Gosh, if you ask me this question in 20 minutes, I'll probably give you another answer. I really, really enjoyed this sounds so corny, but it's honestly the truth. It's the things that we've been able to do in between the shows. I love playing shows. I love these moments, and there's been times where we're playing a show and I stop singing and the whole crowd's still singing. And after my grandfather passed away, on his funeral, the day of his funeral, we had a massive headlining show. We went to the funeral, and immediately after the funeral, rushed to to do load in, and I dedicated the song "Keep Your Faith in Me," which you can actually hear on our new EP, "Stay," where we reimagined it. And I sing it, and the whole crowd sang it with me. And it was a breakdown crying moment. And then there was the moment where we're on the streets of New York, and we're on tour, and it's just an incredible moment that we're on tour. And we get a call from Ernie Ball, that Ernie Ball, like the guitars and everything, that we're going to be on Warped Tour. And Warped Tour at the time was a massive dream for us. It's no longer a thing, but it was the biggest thing that we could possibly do. And we're just crying in the streets, hugging each other. I mean, the times that we get to go explore, and we jumped off a massive rock in Rhode Island into the ocean. I was scared of jumping in. Like, there's, I can go on and on and on about it. And I think that I've just been really lucky to be able to have the people in my life. And my wife and I, we've been together since we were 15 and 16 years old. She's been here from every step of the way. And the fact that she's still here and we get to raise a beautiful daughter and the guys and my best friends. If the band and my music career ended today, right now, I got off this and it was over, I have lived an extremely amazing life. And I'm so thankful for it.
Dude. That's awesome. That's incredible, man.
Yeah. Now, as I put down at the bottom, Ryan has his links for all of his social media. If you can't write those down fast enough, we understand. Just go to ndbmedia.net and go to the show's video and go to Talented Universe. And I have all of his links underneath the shows. The show's down. You look for Ryan and all of his links are there. You just click them and go. So if you don't know that, or you can actually do a search for him if you want to. So you can find it that way. And if you're listening to us and you haven't seen his blind audition, watch it. I mean, it is amazing, especially what he said with some of the clips do have his trio. Yeah, with Dan and Shay. Some of them don't, but find the one that does. And I mean, it's incredible. And now he's telling you what he felt like. He didn't really remember it for the first one. I mean, because I'm sure the emotions were just.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a harmony that we do at the end. I had no idea we did that harmony. Like it wasn't until it was on TV. The first time I watched it on TV, where I was like, wait, where did that come from? I was so yeah, it was definitely a blackout moment. It was so cool.
And that happens. I mean, it's can be the way it is. So I would like to thank everyone for joining us. If you want to know what else is on our network, we're working on a couple of other people from The Voice. It'll be announced on our main page, ndbmedia.net. It'll give you the time and everything else. And Kayla Marie says, "Go Ryan." Our last little statement we're going to. That was literally me when meeting you in Cleveland. Yeah.
Thank you.
So everyone again, Vernon, did you want to say anything to close or?
Yeah, I just want to say, firstly, I hope that more people get to experience Ryan the musician, but even more than that, I hope they get to experience the person. Because just spending this time with you tonight, I love your just appreciation for life, your outlook, and it's infectious and it just rubs off in the most wonderful way on people. You just resonate such a kind heart, man, and I can tell that you are a genuine guy. So may you just absolutely continue going from strength to strength, and we'll be backing you, man. We'll be checking you out, rooting for you all the way, and you deserve all of the best, truly.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Everyone on the chat, thank you so much. ARK, beautiful, wonderful questions. Thanks for all your research there. Vernon and Michael, thank you so much for having me. It means the world that you guys reached out and wanted to have this conversation with me all the way from South Africa and such. I mean, this is, it's really, really cool. I'm very thankful for you guys, and don't be strangers. Stay in touch. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. So everyone, we're going to sign off now. Enjoy the rest of your day, however much time you've got, depending on where you are. And this is available to watch later too. So tell your friends, and we will see you later. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.